Welcome to this episode of Tattoo Diaries. I'm your host, Strummunskull.
For it is a human number. Its number is 666.
I'd have to say the first greatest moment of my life would be the birth of my daughter. And my guest today is the lovely Myra, who's no stranger to tattoos and tattoo ink. Myra, so wonderful to have you here on the show today.
Wonderful to be here.
Myra, can you let your viewers in on one of the first tattoos you've ever had?
The very first tattoo that I ever got was this Canada flag on my arm. I was 21 at the time, which some might think is young and some might not think at all. Depends on your perspective. But at the time, I read a news article that said that Americans traveling abroad would stitch Canada flags onto their backpacks and pretend to be Canadian. And at the time, that was the news. And I thought, well, when I travel abroad, I really am Canadian, and I'm proud to be so. So instead of having it on my backpack or my luggage, which I also have, but I'm going to have it on my body as well, because I'm really Canadian, and that was my first tattoo. And in the shop, at the time, there was a lot of flash on the walls.
Yes.
So when I walked in, instead of choosing a flash off the wall, I had the tattoo out of a book of flags. Yeah.
Interesting story for a first tattoo.
Yeah. Oh, but now there's so much stuff around it doesn't even stand out anymore.
And I've noticed the tattoos now surrounding it. So I see that you added on to the Canadian flag. Can you tell us a little bit about that, Myra?
It has been added on slowly over the years. With every trip that we take and we get tattooed wherever we go, it becomes slowly added to the collection. Are you making it focus on me? So it's there's been a lot of thought put to this sleeve, adding to the initial one, but they were not all done at once.
So what did you add after the Canadian flag to this one?
What was next?
Oh, to that part of your arm anyway.
Next on this arm.
Would it have been this butterfly? Can you tell us about this butterfly? How that was incorporated in there?
The butterfly. Yeah, I got the butterfly before I went to Dollywood, and I wanted this butterfly on my arm when I entered that amusement park because I love Dolly Parton. Some people might know, some people might not, but the butterfly is the W of the Dollywood sign.
Oh, that's pretty creative.
Yeah, so I got this done the same trip that we went down to Tennessee, and it was tattooed the day before I was to go to Dollywood.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. So I had it all planned out with my outfit and my shoes and how I wanted to look, and I wanted to have this tattoo.
That was actually tattooed by a gentleman in Kentucky.
That's right. Yeah. Before going to Pigeon Forge. Yes, the next day.
That's right.
It was.
Up above, surrounding the Canadian flag, looks to be some trash polka.
That's right. Yeah, I trashed the butterfly after this trip, and wanting to sort of put everything together. I had a local person at the time. We were living in Nova Scotia, and I had a local artist there piece it together for me. And she put a quote, Dolly Parton quote, in there in the trash polka style with some polka dots and some shapes. There's also some birds on the back as well. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And the quote reads, if you want the rain, you gotta put up with, sorry, if you want the rainbow, you gotta put up with the rain.
Yeah.
True that.
Yeah. And that quote was written on one of the buildings at Dollywood. So from all of the pictures that we took from when we were there,
Right.
I was looking back at the photos and chose that quote from the building.
Oh, isn't that lovely?
Yeah.
Also, I'm seeing some, is that sparrow? Is that
Yes.
sparrow?
It's a little sparrow. Little Sparrow is one of my favorite songs of Dolly Parton's. So yeah, so the same tattoo artist who trashed my butterfly and did this quote also did this bird as well. Yeah.
Well, I must say, it's quite realistic.
It is, it's beautiful. I love his little feet. His little feet are so cute. Yeah, I'm happy he's there.
Very nice. You've also got some flowers in there, I can see.
Yes.
Flowers.
These flowers here, at the time the tattoo artist thought that these petals looked like meat, and I thought that was really funny of her to say that. But these are magnolias.
Magnolias.
Yes. Steel Magnolias is my favorite movie.
I know it is.
And also, Dolly Parton's also in it. So I wanted magnolias, and I had her do some ink spots behind these flowers to have it tie in with the same kind of
Yes.
look here. I also have ink spots behind these flowers here as well. These are poppies here and
again,
here.
some realistic poppies,
Yes.
I should add.
And you can see them from the back, which is awesome placement on the part of the tattoo artist at the time.
They are beautiful.
Katie B did that for me in Edmonton. I love her. I love Katie B. She's done other work on me as well. I love her.
Has she?
Can I drink my drink?
Would Katie B have also been the artist who tattooed your hand as well? I see you have a flower on your hand.
Yeah, this is a blue rose. I gave the idea to Katie B to put a blue rose on the back of my hand because I carried blue roses when I got married.
Oh, so you did.
Yeah.
I recall that.
Yeah, so I wanted, this has been tattooed twice, and to be honest, it needs to be done again. Hands don't take ink as well as other areas of your body, so I do need to get that touched up again. She also did this over here as well.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
that's a pretty big piece.
This has been tattooed several times. The barbed wire is a very old tattoo. It was actually my second tattoo after getting the Canada flag, and it's been there a long time.
Yes.
And also this I love you XOXOXO Joey. That was done by a tattoo artist. I loved her name. Her name was April Rain. Amber was the one that helped me with the flowers. April Rain, that was a cool name. She did that that was a love note. I still have the note, but now I have it tattooed on me as well. But Katie B put the heart around these things with these little leaves. She did this sword as well as these flowers.
Nice. The heart.
Sacred Heart.
The heart looks almost realistic, slightly as well. You know, it's not just your typical heart.
No,
It's kind of nice.
it's not. Katie B has the reference material that was used to draw this up because I gave it to her after she tattooed it, so it's in her shop. But it was drawn off of a Sacred Heart that was in the middle of Jesus' chest.
So it has like a religious slight theme to it as well.
Yes.
Very nice.
Yes.
Very nice. Very nice touch.
I'm glad you like it.
Well, getting back to your other arm, I see there's
yes.
some what appears to be children.
There are children.
What's the story behind the children on your arm?
Oh, yeah. I let people just keep guessing because people think they know who these children are or where it is from. and it bothers them because they can't think of where it is, and I think that's entertaining. I laugh and let them guess for a while before I tell them what it actually is. But this is an illustration from the Coat of Many Colors, which is
Dolly Parton song.
yes. Her song Coat of Many Colors was made into a children's book and illustrated. So I took a page out of the book and put it on my arm, and it is just like that page. And I added more leaves to come across the front to bring it around. I have a ball of yarn. It's in the shape of a heart with some knitting needles through it. So kind of tied those children into the front of my arm with these knitting needles. So yeah, I love her. I love her.
So the children came after the knitting. Is it? Oh, it's a heart-shaped knitting ball.
Yes.
Okay.
I love to knit and crochet. It's a hobby that doesn't take a lot of thinking for me, so it's meditative. So when I'm doing it, my hands can be knitting, and I'm not thinking about what I'm doing, so my mind wanders. I friggin' love that. Same thing happens when I jog. It's a meditative state where my body's just doing what it needs to, and I don't need to think about that. My mind can just wander.
Right.
Love it. So this is an older tattoo as well, which is probably why it looks gray. Actually, it doesn't look too bad, but yeah, this was done in St. John, New Brunswick. Yeah.
Very nice.
Years ago.
Very nice.
Yes, we were in St. John to see
St. John.
St. John. To see Ashley McIsaac in concert, and I got tattooed while I was there because that's what I like to do. So I tattoo when I go places. So yeah, that's what I got.
Awesome sauce.
The guy who helped me tattoo this, Randall, was super cool. Yeah, I just remembered because when the knitting needles were drawn through the yarn in the shape of a heart, at first they didn't line up to go completely through, so we had to rework it a little bit. Yes. He was super cool with that.
Well, you want that kind of tattoo artist to know who pays attention to those little details, because those little details are important. I mean, these things are on you for the rest of your life. So
yeah, I hadn't thought about Randall in years. He had a very cool shop there, and he loved Hulk, and we had sent him some Hulk figurines afterwards.
Yeah, we did.
To thank him for.
Definitely to show him some appreciation.
Super cool. Yeah, we did the same thing when we went to Boston, and I got this Seahorse. That tattoo artist was super cool too, and he had a lot of religious statues around in his shop, and we sent him a religious statue afterwards.
Yes, we did.
He was super cool.
We did. That was just up the street from Fenway Park.
Yes, it was.
This tattoo shop.
When we went to see Limp Bizkit and Machine Gun Kelly.
At the House of Blues.
That was so cool. Yeah, but he was so cool to talk to too while he was tattooing me.
So tell me, why the Seahorse?
Oh my gosh. Okay, very good question. When we were in Las Vegas, we were in Las Vegas to see Shania Twain. I love her too. If it were not for Shania Twain, I wouldn't know who Dolly Parton was, because she introduced me to a lot of female country artists after discovering Shania. So we were there to see Shania. We were at Caesar's Palace, and they have this bar there that is called the Seahorse. And we were in this bar, we were drinking, and I had this moment where I leaned back and I was talking, and I leaned back and I looked, and there was this huge aquarium in the middle of this bar, and it had seahorses in it. Actual seahorses. And it was like, whoa. And I remember going over, being amazed that there was this big aquarium there. It was so pretty. But the seahorses, they had their tails wrapped around the greenery that was in the aquarium, and it looked like a couple of them actually were were holding on to each other with their tails,
Yes.
almost like holding hands. And for me, that was a memory. So I got tattooed in Boston a seahorse to remember that moment, because it was pretty friggin' cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Seahorses are very exotic when you think about it.
They're so pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was to remember that. And I have trouble right now remembering his name. I'll have to look that up in Boston, because he did a fabulous job, and he was great to talk to while he was doing it.
Well, that wasn't yesterday.
No, it
Well,
wasn't.
speaking of Las Vegas, I noticed that you also have the Las Vegas logo? I don't know what you call that.
While I was in Las Vegas, I got tattooed. Yeah, I get tattooed wherever I go.
Right.
On the Las Vegas, welcome to Las Vegas sign, there's two of them that I saw when we were there at different ends of the city. But there is a star on the side that lights up. And the tattoo artist at the time, when I told him what I wanted, he said, I've done the sign before, and I've done changing up what the sign says and changing the lettering, but I've never just done the star. So that was a first for him, which I thought was super cool. Yeah, it's first for you, you've never done it, let's do it.
Okay.
And he was, I did not want it to wrap around my arm. I wanted it just to be in the front. And he was really good with that, because I had to change the sizing a couple times. So he was cool with me.
Nice. Nice. Let's carry on with what else I'm seeing here on your wrist.
Oh, this? Oh, this is Katie B too. Katie B.
Another flower.
Yeah, Katie B is very good at flowers.
Yeah.
My daughter, Angel, has done some painting, and one of her paintings was of a blue flower.
Okay.
And it had two little hearts at the top of the flower, and it did have a stem. And what I did was I gave that painting to Katie B to use as a reference to tattoo my wrist. I wanted it exactly here. But instead of the stem that she had painted on the flower, I wanted Angel's heartbeat. So she took off the stem and put Angel's heartbeat there. And Angel's heartbeat lines up with Angel's signature.
Oh yes, I see that on your
my
hand.
thumb. Now, this was not done by Katie B. Angel's signature, as well as my son's signature, Tyrell, is on the other side here. Those were done in Portland, Maine.
Oh wow. Wow, you really have been around collecting these tattoos.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I remember we had stopped in Bangor, Maine, so that we could see Stephen King's house.
And that we did.
Yeah, it was the same trip.
Myra, I have to ask about this beautiful chess piece
Oh.
you have.
Yes. Now, I'm not going to show the whole chess piece to
Please don't. We don't expect you to show that.
There are gems that are down below onto my breasts, which I will choose not to show. Those are for me and for my lover. But the chess piece itself is a lotus flower. The lotus was done with a traditional style of tattooing, which was stick and poke. And yes, it was very painful. I think I cried more in the days after it was tattooed than when it was actually being done. It was the healing process was quite bad, painful wise.
Yes.
But
I bet.
yes. But since the initial stick and poke of the actual flower, I've had it tattooed again.
Really? You're not satisfied with the first time?
I was not.
Tell us more about that.
I was not happy with the imperfections of it. It was not centered properly onto my chest. It looked like we had just plopped some dots that were not connected to make lines onto my chest. It had no background or reference of being there. It was just plopped there. And I wanted this lotus flower because it was a memory from being in Boston, which we just talked about. Because in Boston at the House of Blues, we were in this VIP area, and
Yes.
the walls of this VIP area was decorated very colorful and pretty, and it had lotus flowers on those decorations.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. And I wanted to have that memory, so I had it tattooed again. I've had it tattooed 3 times since the initial stick and poke.
Oh wow.
To connect those dots, to bold some areas, give a little bit of shadow and dimension, and I had a background added.
I love the background on this tattoo. It's
Yes.
quite nice.
Yes, the background, I wanted some watercolor.
Mm-hmm.
I also wanted some detail where it wasn't tattooed, so there's a little bit of negative space there with an outline of leaves and so forth, just to give a little bit more interest.
The colors almost look like they're bleeding in a way, which is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice, very cool effect. Have you got tattoos anywhere else on your body, like front body, that I'm not seeing? Oh yes, you have one on your rib cage.
It's on my side.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's on your side.
Yeah. It's a tattoo that I share with a friend of mine, Ashley. We both have the same tattoo.
Oh really?
Yes. We met in 1993, so it has 93 on there. It has both our initials, so the M and the A,
okay.
and it has forget-me-not flowers. Because we met in grade 8 and we never forgot about each other. We've remained friends. So,
Oh, that's
yeah.
a very nice commemorative piece.
Ashley, that's her only tattoo.
Oh, that's
Which
crazy.
is kind of cool.
That's crazy. Do you have any tattoos on your back?
Yes, I have 2 on the top of my back.
Okay.
I have Leviticus 19:28. Just Leviticus 19:28. I don't have what the scripture says. I just have where it's found. And I also have a kanji that means motherly.
Ah, can you give us an idea of what the Bible verse reads? What does it mean?
It says, "Do not put markings upon your body. I am the Lord."
Ah, I see.
So I have a tattoo that says, "Don't touch me."
Wow, that's pretty freaking neat. I
Yeah.
like that.
My dad saw it for the first time just about a year and a half ago. So he never knew it was there. My sister was helping me put on my coat, and he saw it, and he just said, "Yeah, sounds about right."
It's because your father
Was a minister.
was a minister. That's
Yeah.
right. That's
Uh-huh.
right.
Right. Yes. But that's the only ones on my back. I am saving my back for a piece.
Nice.
And when I look at myself in the mirror, I can picture it there, which is freaky.
Well, Mara, let's get back to that. I see a tattoo here on your shin.
Oh, yeah.
What is the story behind that one?
Oh, this one's a good story.
Okay.
When I first met my handsome husband, he used to always give me flowers, and they would die, and then I would be sad. So, this one day, I got a stainless steel rose,
Mm-hmm.
and it was given to me with a little charm on there that said, "I love you," and it was, of course, a rose that would never die, so that I wouldn't be sad, and I'd always know that I was loved. And when we took a trip to, where was this? San Francisco? I got tattooed by a lovely lady there. I love getting tattooed by women. And she changed. I had sent her photos of the stainless steel rose before going there.
Yeah.
And I had brought the rose with me. She had changed up the drawing a bit. It's not exactly as the stainless steel rose is, but she changed it so that the angle of the rose could be seen, because if you kept it straight you wouldn't see the inside of the petals and things like that. So she actually made it better tattoo wise, and she made the charm bigger. so that I love you could be seen.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's true love right there. Okay, so moving on to your foot, it looks like you've got
Oh,
a
this was
rosary.
in Toronto.
You've got a rosary around your
Yes,
around your
this
ankle.
was in Toronto, and it was on Yonge Street that I got that tattooed. I'd love to go back to Toronto again. That was a good time. Getting tattooed there. Very good time. Getting tattooed on the top of the foot is not fun. But yeah, it's an area that's not enjoyable. It should probably be touched up again.
Have you got any tattoos on your other foot?
Not on my other foot, but I do have some on my other leg.
Okay, so what do we have here?
So on my left leg here, we have carnation flowers.
Oh, carnation flowers.
Yes.
Nice.
I am originally from Newfoundland,
Yes.
and my whole family drank carnation canned milk, and especially my grandfather. And when my grandfather passed away, I had a memory of him where he used to drink carnation milk right from the can,
Oh.
and like he just loved it.
Yeah.
So for me, this was done after he passed, so that I would remember not just
Okay.
him drinking carnation, but him in general.
Again, it's a well thought out commemorative tattoo.
Yeah,
By the
although
sounds
there's
of it.
no words there to state that that's what it's for, but that's just for me.
So the one above this carnation looks like a fairly big piece.
Yes, it
What
is.
is the story behind that massive
Ah.
tattoo?
Randall. When we were in St. John, New Brunswick, and we saw Ashley McIsaac and got tattooed by Randall, and he did this knitting piece. I was flipping through his book. He had a portfolio of drawings. Because I was still thinking about this tree 4 years later, we got in contact with him, and it hadn't been tattooed. He still had it in his book,
Right.
and in his art book, and it was just a black sketch, and I wanted it in color.
Okay.
So we drove out there, we had an appointment, we went in, I let him choose all the colors he wanted.
Right.
It was his art piece, I just liked the sketch, and I just gave him his freedom, and I gave him the whole thigh. It's like, you can blow it up, you can make it bigger, and just, this is all your space. And we had a great time with that. Long time being tattooed though. I was on the table for, gosh, how long was that? 6 hours?
That's a long ass tattoo.
Yes. And I remember at the very end of it, he didn't take very many breaks. But at the end of it, he said he was done. And I remember sitting up, half of my body kind of sitting up and looking down. And I was like, are you sure you're done? And when I said that, it was almost like I jinxed it.
Yeah.
Because like, oh yeah, right, I've got these little leaves over here still. He wasn't actually done. Anyways.
There's so many nerves in that area.
Yeah, I
My
know,
Lord.
but I love it. And when I show it to people, I like it when I'm wearing shorts and just the bottom of the tree shows, because the roots are showing. So I like to say, my roots are showing. I like that. But when I actually pull it up and I show people, people think it's a weirwood tree.
All from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Yes. Hey.
Yeah.
So, am I right when I say that's all of them at this point?
No.
Oh, what did we miss out?
I
did you do
have a butterfly here on my wrist from when a tattoo shop was just having a butterfly day.
Okay.
So I said, why not? I have a ladybug on my thumb. This little ladybug was the ladybug from Angel's Hat. when she was little. I took the hat
Yes.
into the shop,
Yes.
and they took a picture of it and scanned it, brought it down to size so that it would fit on my thumb, and then put it there. Like, it sounds ridiculous because
Yeah.
they could have just drew a ladybug and put it there and made
Yeah.
me think it's from the hat, but they did all this work to make it the ladybug from the hat because the ladybug on the hat was like really big. There's also Joey on my fingers. Yeah. There's that.
That's cool.
Yeah. Anything else? Oh, there's taking care of business on the back of my arm.
Oh, taking care of business.
TCB. That was in Montreal. On a trip that we had taken to Montreal. We got tattooed when we were there. So it's TCB, taking care of business, with the lightning bolt.
Yes.
And that was a memory from when we were in Memphis.
Ah.
Yes, because Taking Care of Business was actually Elvis's band name. A lot of people don't know that. And the lightning bolt was in his house, and this little symbol was there and all that.
I recall seeing that symbol on the wall in one of the rooms in his house.
Yes.
Pretty freaking awesome.
Yes, yes. And also this one. The game I like to play at parties.
Oh my goodness. Now that's interesting.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, not all of my tattoos have sentimental meanings. Some of them are just put there just for looks, and this is a fine example of that. This is a negative space tattoo, so it's not what is tattooed is the message. It's what's not tattooed, and I think that's super cool. When I was a kid, and we were a very religious family, and we went to church on Sunday 3 times. The women's group used to take these symbols and stitch them onto bookmarks, and it was what is in between these symbols is what you read, which at parties is kind of cool. Someone will ask me what this means, and I'll hold it up and I'll get them to guess. And they see the J, and then they'll automatically say gesso. But wait, why do you have gesso on your hand, on your arm? Don't you know your name? And like, it's not that. So it's a little fun thing for them to guess what it says.
Nice.
Yeah.
And
Am I missing any?
have we covered them all?
Oh, I have a heart on my belly.
Ah, yes, a very tiny one.
Yeah, a little red heart. I did that because my cousin was chickening. She was too scared to get this tattoo the one day. And we were at the shop, and so she was going to miss the appointment because she was too scared to sit. So I just asked the guy, well, just put a little something on me and let her see it, because she's never even seen anyone get a tattoo before. So he put a little heart on my belly.
Wow, isn't that neat?
Which is kind of funny. Yeah.
Well, Myra, before we say goodbye to your subscribers out there, I'd like to ask, what's next? What's next for Myra? What tattoo will you be getting first opportunity you get?
Wow, that's a really good question. I've already talked to Katie B at Anchor Tattoo in Edmonton, and she is making me some flash, and I'm going to play a game, and I'm going to throw a dart at the flash.
Okay. Yeah.
And wherever my dart lands, I'm gonna get that piece.
That's crazy. So all of the designs will be of hers? Wow.
Should I be blindfolded when I throw the dart?
Oh, that's even crazier.
All of her work is super beautiful. I love
She
her
is a
style.
great artist,
I love
yes.
her style. Anything on that board that she makes for me will be great. So it won't matter. I'll probably get tattooed whatever it is that I hit, and then save the rest for another time.
Right.
Because she's that good. Although I have certain things on my body where I look at a spot and I see something there, so On this flash, I'm not going to want to cover up somewhere that I have plans for.
Right.
Yeah. The side of this knee is going to be a red cardinal bird. I can already see the bird when I look down. I can even see the direction of his head and his wing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Mara, I want to thank you today for showing us and your fans your vast collection of tattoos. You have an amazing collection.
Thank you.
Guys, if you've enjoyed today's video, please hit that like button down here and subscribe to see more videos like these. I'm Strummunskull, and this is Myra. Y'all have yourselves a wonderful day.